And in it, he said that he literally implies, I don't have the sentence in front of me, but that Mark Grunwald, the guy who hired me, he didn't know this when he wrote this. The guy, and also Mark Grunwald is the reason that I am on the New Mutants to bring you Deadpool and Cable, period. I almost didn't do it, and he talked me into it. He said, upon looking at Rob Liefeld's Heroes Reborn Captain America, Mark was so disheartened and died that night. And I'm like, oh, you have just connected me to the death of someone. Awful. This is how like awful the business can be. And I would, this is right when Twitter was around, and I would say, you're a hack. I would publicly tell him, you never talked to me. You never spoke to any, it's funny, he wrote a book that is really critical on all the image guys and never spoke to a single image guy. So I am one of those guys. I won't go as far as to say fake news and go into all that, but the media has their own agenda. They write their own crap, and sometimes they never even talk to you. You're like, wait, I would have loved to have known this book was being published. So I took a really cool story and just took a sidecar into the wall and crashed it with that awful lie in that book. But anyway, moving on. Mark Grunwald, I really wanted to do a separate book, and New Mutants was right there for me. But the thing about New Mutants, for you guys who don't know, New Mutants was like the dog of the X-Men books in the late 80s. You had X-Men selling 400,000 copies, which is a lot of units. You had X-Factor selling 350,000 copies. You had Wolverine selling 350,000 copies. You had New Mutants. Right down here. How do I know the sales? Because I got royalty statements. It had the sales on it, and they told me ahead of time. 100,000 copies is what New Mutants 85 was selling. I came on with New Mutants 86, and it went up to 112,000 copies. Oh, I was worth a 12,000 bump right off the bat. Whoa! Because I had done a book called Hawk and Dove that went over extremely well. And I'm going to tell you right now, guys, it gets no love whatsoever. The Titans show on DC Universe is the best comic show that you can watch in your house. Period. End of story. Done. Like, I can't believe week in and week out the action, the direction, the production values. This show is awesome, and no one talks. It's like crickets. Anyone talk about the Titans? No? Awesome. Okay, no. Every week I'm like, they spent, I know my buddies directed it and produced it, and they were like, we can't even believe the budgets we have for this. They're huge. Great budgets. The cast is great, the acting's great, the story, they curse a lip. I mean, everyone wants to say the F word 10 times every episode. They're like, it's kind of weird. I'm like, they're an adult show. FFF, no, UF. I got kids in here, so I can't be that naughty yet. Hawk and Dove, Dawn Granger, Minka Kelly plays her. That was us. We had to fight for that too, but that book came out. Hawk and Dove hadn't had a series in about 15 years. Welcome. And we put that book out, and it sold really well for DC. And I think DC was like, what the heck? Hawk and Dove is a big seller for us. So Marvel called me, asked me to come over, and then said, truth be told, they offered me X Factor. But, so here, now, if you've seen me do this before, I apologize. You're gonna see me do it again. When I was growing up, my favorite comic book was The Avengers. Why is that? Why do I love The Avengers so much? Now, when I was growing up, little kid, 1975, Giant Size X-Men hadn't come out yet, 1974. The X-Men were, now you can't argue against this. I'm gonna lay this out, and you're not gonna be able to dissuade what I'm gonna tell you. They were temple touchers and arm casters. And that's boring. And that's why that book got canceled and went into reprints. Cyclops. He touches his temple. No, danger, blast. And then, back me up, Jean Grey, Marvel Girl, okay. Arm cast, move things with my mind. Come on in, Iceman, okay, here I am, I'm casting my arms, and you're frozen. And then Beast would come in, jumping like a orangutan. Hey, what can I do? I got big feet. He wasn't blue and fur yet. And then Angel, watch out for Angel. He may flap those wings at you. Hey! This was a dynamic team, not. Great concept, not the best selection of characters. People forget that book was in reprints for 5 years. Just reprint the old stuff because we gotta keep that trademark, but the X-Men is tired. In the meantime, in the freaking Avengers, Thor throws his hammer at you, boom, goes through 10 walls, comes back to his hand, knocks you, bash you with your, then Captain America throws his shield, it also comes back to him, all the Avengers weapons come back to them. Hey, womp, hammer, shield, Hawkeye walks in with his arrows, shoot, some explode, some are nets, but it's weapons. Then when I was growing up, there was a character, he hasn't been on film yet, so some of you are going to be like, what are you talking about? He's not an Avenger, because it hasn't been on, celluloid. Swordsman. Had a sword, and the sword blasted. A sword that fires, but sword, boom. Awesome. Even Black Widow had like a widow's line. She would spin it on you and pull you in and tell you the Avengers were weaponized. No wonder they were the best-selling comic at Marvel. Weapons! Weapons matter! Swords, hammers, shields! The X-Men were sorely lacking in weapons. Don't mess with us. We're gonna get you, okay? So what happens? They decide to put the guy with 6 knives on his hands into the X-Men. Oh, hi, clink, clink, snick, snick. Oh my gosh, Wolverine blew my mind when I was a kid. I'm like, he has retractable knives on his, what? So my geek fandom took me all the way. How does this happen, right? Hugh Jackman comes to San Diego the week at the San Diego Comic-Con to perform his showman show, the Greatest Showman tour. Well, they had invited me to meet him, and I don't get trumbly about a lot of guys. But when you're little Robbie Liefeld and Wolverine is your favorite character of all space and time growing up and still is, there's no Deadpool without Wolverine. I jumped that bandwagon and wrote it. Can I do all this? I can totally rip off Wolverine? Oh yeah, go ahead, Rob. Okay, thanks. Same thing, Weapon X, he's part of Weapon X, and okay. And then you'll butcher it in the movie, like in 2009, and he'll zip his mouth and he'll have knives. What? Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. But I meet Hugh Jackman. Hey, mate. What the? Oh my gosh, I'm with Wolverine! And he was the nicest guy. And they had to pull him off me because we kept talking. And they're like, Hugh, you have to meet these other people. And he's like, all right. I'm going to say hi to you from the stage. I'm like, whatever. Then halfway through the show, he's like, and that is here tonight. Roll live, creator at Deadpool. What the? Wolverine is talking to me from the stage. What the? And I had good seats. Hugh gave me some bitchin' seats. So if I can go back in time and tell little Robbie Liefeld 2 things. 1, your obsession with Star Wars, that movie you saw 35 times the summer of 1977, they're gonna make a TV show when you're 52. You're gonna have Star Wars on your TV, okay? That's how mind-blowing that. I would have been like, get the out of here, that guy. Like, you're high. Star Wars will be a TV show, little Robbie. Now keep eating your Twinkie, and then you're gonna meet Wolverine, and he's gonna talk about crazy. My life has been crazy, and Mark Grunwald did not die because he saw my Captain Marvel. What bullshit. So anyway, X-Men are weaponized now when Wolverine comes on, and they become a lot cooler. And Giant Size X-Men was a giant book for kids my age, because suddenly it wasn't the Temple Touchers and the Arm Casters. And they were cool and they were fun. And so when they offered me the original X Factor book, it certainly sold better. And part of their deal was, Rob, this book sells so well. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm also going to be following Walt Simonson, God of Comics. That's not good for my career. Don't do a duet with Frank Sinatra if you're just learning how to sing. Like, that's not a good idea. Kind of work your way into your own thing. Just like Hawk and Dove. Hawk and Dove was a loser. We made it a hit. That looks good on my resume. See, I sniff a lot because I think I get nervous, but it's not cocaine. It is cocaine. So anyway, I did a whole line in the bathroom. A guy from the show was watching me. I'm like, it's just powdered sugar. Anyway, so kids, that's not true. There's a policeman in here. Don't arrest me. So anyway, I got a law officer. All the drugs in my bag. Whoa, that's why I'm here in Oakland doing deals. I just mask it with, I'm here for Deadpool, right? So anyway, Oakland, drug capital of Northern California. So anyway, that's just it. I'm just kidding. I'm not. So I said no to X Factor because those guys are boring. I don't care. Oh, so you finally gave Angel mechanical wings with knives, stillborn. And so I said, I'll take over New Mutants on one condition. Can I give them a teacher? These boring kids need some guidance. There's a reason it's almost near cancellation. Their words, Rob, we're going to cancel this if it doesn't work. You can do anything you want. It's basically a fixer-upper. We have given you a shanty house. You can repaint it. You can put new rooms. You can do additions. So boom, I sell him Cable. Here it is. Cable, this guy. He's from the future. I mean, when you look at Cable, I'm still, I'm in my young 20s. So all my teenage ambitions are coming through. Robot arm, scar on the eye, time traveler, big guns, just everything. I just tacked it on him, boom, 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 because it was my one shot. I felt like if I didn't land this, it doesn't happen. New Mutants 87 sold 135,000, so now we're going 20 above the first issue, or almost 20, and in 2 issues, and they're like, Rob, the numbers are moving on this book. And so every issue we went up incrementally huge. And you gotta understand, so I'm gonna get back to you, because you go, oh, Rob, you think you're a big shot? No, I'm a kid living in an apartment with a dad who's been sick for 10 years from 10 brain tumors, 10 operations, UCLA Medical Center. When I was, right after I was in love with Star Wars, my dad got his first brain tumor. There was a blood clot. He was in a coma for 9 months. They told my mom every 2 nights that I would go with my mom to the hospital and sit, I was a little kid, on a little chair. I'd heard them tell my mom, you should unplug your husband, he's gonna be a vegetable when he wakes up anyway. And I'd be like, back in the 70s, they would refer to people as vegetables. It's crazy, but doctors would go, he's going to be a vegetable. It's like vernacular of the time. And so I was like, wow. So cancer was a big deal in my family. My dad lost the sight of his one eye. When he was in a coma, they had to take his eye and shut it. So he always had a closed eye, a very definite connection to cable, cancer, Deadpool, all that stuff came out in my work. And so I'm in an apartment doing New Mutants, trying to make enough money to take care of my family too. My mom and dad, they were kind of broke off their butts, and I was trying to provide for not just me, but them. So anything that's moving the needle for me in my career is a good thing. People can sometimes mistake excitement for ego. I'm just excited. Comics, I've consumed comics since I was 6 years old. I have consumed them. They are my passion. I love creating them. I love reading them. There are 5 stores in Orange County that can tell you they see me on a regular basis. I go to all of them. I know all the owners. I try and spend money at all the stores equally so that one guy doesn't feel like, what do you come to my store buying one comic? I try and, spread the love. They all have kind of different strengths too. But I love comics. I am a weekly comic book addict, in addition to drugs. But the thing is, so I created Cable. He took off. And I was having some arguments with the previous writer. She was a lovely lady, but I was more in tune with kids. I was fresh out of being a kid myself. I'm 21 years old when I go on there. And when you meet 21-year-olds, when you're 52, you realize, holy crap, you're young. But when you're 21, you think, I'm so old. But you're not. You're just kind of starting your life out. And they said, Rob, you can write the book. You can write the whole thing. It's working out for us. Because the book is now selling 400,000 copies from the 100,000 when you took over it. Waboom! That means Daddy is going to be able to buy a house and put Mom and Dad in it too. That was my goal. And so, 98, I was so nervous with New Mutants 98. And that's why when people go, why are there 3 new characters on the cover? I was trying to secure my future. Like, Cable got me there, but now, you're kind of like, oh man, you got what you wanted. You can write the book now. Deadpool, Domino, Gideon. What I tell everybody is 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I nailed 2 out of 3. Okay? We threw kind of everything against the wall. 2 stuck, 1 fell all the way. You wouldn't have if I'd hung around, but you didn't. Green hair, ponytail, didn't make it. So anyway, from that point on, then I'm telling you, Marvel called me. I'm just finishing up New Mutants 100 because 98 comes out. I've already done 99, and I get a call from my editor. He says, Rob, can you put Deadpool in some pages in New Mutants 100? And I'm like, I just shipped off the last of 100 in the FedEx. And back then at Marvel, you could only use FedEx 2-day delivery. You did not do overnight. You did 2 days. You did not, from California to New York, they had you on the FedEx would go, this is rejected. You said overnight. No. Marvel's account says only 2 days. So I said, you'll get it in a couple days? Hey, they're a corporation. They're running things in the margins. So I said, Bob, you're gonna get this. I used every ounce. We can't fit him in. He's like, oh man, we got to do some stuff with him in X-Force #1. Maybe a trading card, maybe a fact file. I'm like, yeah, we can do all of that. I said, why? What's the deal with Deadpool? Because the book had only been out in real time for a few days, about a week. He's like, Rob, we have never received this much mail on one character. New Mutants 98 sold 650,000 copies. This was not a book that's hard to come by. And they said, we've never received this much mail on anything in the last 15 years. No new character has rustled up the fans like this. I'm like, oh, that's great. And here's the deal. When I was a kid, going back to the Mandelorian, when I laid eyes on anybody my age, the minute we saw Boba Fett, love at first sight, done. We're in love for the rest of our life. He looks cool. I try and wipe out that I saw him fall into a giant vagina. In Return of the Jedi. Sorry, ladies. That's what it was. If it was a giant penis, I'd say that. Like, wait, he got bumped accidentally off the sky. What? And in Empire Strikes Back, you're like, you're in this movie for 5 minutes? I waited 3 years for you to be in a movie for 5 minutes? But he looked so cool, you didn't care. You go, mind wipe, my action figures will be cooler than this. So seeing him grow and become the Mandalorian in the Clone Wars and all of the army of Mandalorians and Jango Fett and all that stuff, it's still hanging on that initial design and the name Boba Fett. We love that guy. And Deadpool, I just think, connected with people. Name, look, boom. Smart ass. Everything since then was all based right there. He exploded. And there's a reason X-Force number 2 is all about Deadpool. You're like, because the fans demanded it. Marvel's like, can you lean into this hard? I'm like, I'll give you an opening 10 pages. Anyway, I just moved all the storylines up. And it was funny, I was going through one of my Wizard magazine number 10. And Marvel Age had interviews with me, and I talked about Deadpool coming into the book again in X-Force around issue 10. But that's before the mail came out, and I had to move them up to 2. So, and again, X-Force 2 sold 1.3 million copies. Why do these things matter? Because the royalty checks. You get the checks, you go, hot damn, I'm selling a lot of books. This is good for mom and dad. I did buy mom and dad a house, and I put my grandparents in it. So I'm like, we're just moving everybody in. So, from that point on, a year later, Cable, Deadpool, all of X-Force were toys. And you don't know what it's like to go to Walmart and to Toys R Us and to KB Toys and all these other stores that are closed now, and seeing the stuff that came out of your brain, your drawings, plastic. And Marvel they knew how excited it would be. Like, Rob, only one wave of X-Men toys had come out, the Wolverine, Cyclops. And they called me up and they said, Rob, the toy guys came in and looked at these pages and they're like, who are these guys? We got to make toys for them. I'm like, what? You're making toys of X-Force? Before X-Force number 1 was printed, I knew they were headed to your shelves. And so I was very excited. Go play your games. These guys are going to a game tournament. Go win that game. I need the money though, if there's any extra, because I taught you how to play all those games. I don't even know these games. So anyway, seeing them as toys on the toy shelves was just a thrill. And again, full circle, old man Liefeld, they did this Marvel 80th anniversary first edition Deadpool they just put out a couple weeks ago, and it's like the best Deadpool figure they ever did. They based it on the packaging and the first Deadpool that they did in 1982, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if there was none in Southern California available, that's because I bought them all. I would go to every, true story, my very generous credit card started getting declined. And I walked out of the store, it's embarrassing. I walk out and I called them. Yes, Mr. Liefeld, we're Chase Bank here. Yes, no, your credit card's fine. We're not declining it, it's good. I go into GameStop. These are the toys I want. Sorry, sir, this is, and then the guy goes, Mr. Liefeld, you've been flagged. At GameStop, when people buy multiples of too much, GameStop shuts down your card. And I'm like, that's dumb. I want to give you my money. The first GameStop I went to, the guy goes, we don't have these, sir. We don't have these at all. And then a guy literally comes out of the back room with all the Deadpool figures about to rack them. I'm like, you said you're not getting them. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm like, I want those too. So, okay, debit card. I'll go debit card, not credit card. But GameStop, man, because they think it's a stolen card if someone's driving all around Southern California buying the same stuff. So I was my own thief one afternoon 2 weeks ago. Because I'd go back, dear Chase, you suck. Mr. Liefeld, this isn't us. And then when GameStop pulled me aside, yeah, sorry, you've just been flagged as a phony card. What? It's awesome. I need to put this stuff on eBay. So anyway, no, I don't ever sell my own stuff. And my wife is like, do we really need 2 storage units? Yes! Yes! We need 2 storage units for my stuff. If you don't want it in the house, it's got to go somewhere. So anyway, because, my kids, they see me come to these shows and they sign the books, and my son 5 years ago said to me, and then I'll open it up to questions because I'm kind of done. How much time do we have? They're kicking me out of here at, okay, we got plenty of time. And people are texting me, and I'm not returning those texts. Okay, so anyway, Okay, toys declined, flagged accounts, eBay storage units. Yeah, I lost my train of thought really fast there.
Your son.
My son, thank you, sir, with 2 sons, knows what I'm doing. He says, Dad, I see you sign these comics for everybody. Do you have any for us? Oh, don't! I don't! Next day, I still got like 15 minutes, right? 20 minutes? I'm good. I'm just asking. Okay, so I went out to my garage and I started pulling every Deadpool X-Force cable, any comic I ever had. And I filled 3 long boxes for Olivia, for Chase, and for Luke. When Dad dies. Not before. And I try and tell him, the best thing that could happen is Dad goes down on an airplane. Oh, all that artwork, I have enough artwork to build furniture out of. I was assembling a throne of my pages, because, I mean, dude. And my wife goes, what are you doing? You're not gonna put that on Instagram. They're gonna break into our house and steal that shit. And I said, wow, that's why you get married. There's like wisdom. And so I said, okay, that's very okay. And she goes, you need to put that in a safe. I'm tired of having this crap. You tell me that these original Deadpool sketches from 1991 are worth so much. They're not protected in your drawers. Yes, Joy. You're correct, Joy. Went out and bought a nice fireproof safe, and then it wouldn't open. And that's because the batteries were low. We had to call, can we open our safe? Liefeld family craziness. So anyway, but yeah, I got a lot of artwork and comics signed for the kids. So kids, Dad dies, you're good. You can buy your own houses. So anyway, or at least that's what they tell me. At least that's what Tom McFarlane tells me. So, do you want to ask me any questions? Because I've got about 20 more minutes and I can answer your questions. And thank you, I'm going to tell you right now. There are at least 4 Deadpools in the room, and I'm going to tell you right now. I cannot tell you, I believe that you are, for the years that they wouldn't make the Deadpool movie, and Fox wouldn't hit the button and make it, I'd go to shows and there were more and more Deadpools showing up, more and more Deadpools, and I would send photos to Fox and go, what are you doing? Why are you making this? There is no movie, just based on merchandise, on action figures and toys and video games. And, Deadpool is ridiculously popular. Look at these amazing costumes. You guys kept Deadpool relevant at a crucial period. And every time I see you, I dig it. And I think you guys are just amazing, because if you guys wear these, so when Ryan wears this suit, it's very clear, he has a totally different version of this suit. I mean, it's the same, but there's pop-outs. The minute he's done filming a scene, like I saw him do a couple action scenes, Deadpool 2 and Deadpool 1. The minute they say cut, they pop out his panels and hit him with fans, because he's sweating profusely. I think Morena Baccarin, who plays Vanessa, talked about how bad he smells in between takes. These guys smell. They smell bad. That's tight sweat in there. I mean, that is like wearing a shoe. Like that adheres to your body. But anyway, if you have some questions for me, I would love to answer them in the time we have remaining, which I believe is roughly about 18 minutes. We're good. So hit me up. Anybody? Anything? You with the cool glasses. In the Superman shirt. What are you doing here? This isn't a DC panel. Just kidding.
If Deadpool's gonna die in the movie, how would you want him to die?
Well, he can't die. So next question. That's a good one. Come on, people ask me that all the time. Like I was at a Terminator Dark Fate, which is a great movie. It just didn't do well. I hate that now that things don't do well, they're not good. There's a favorite movie of mine. It's a French action period piece called Brotherhood of the Wolf. Came out early 2000s. The most kick-ass movie. Made no money. Doesn't mean it's not a good movie. It's a great movie. It's just people don't want to go watch subtitles. But Tim Miller at the Dark Fate Q&A, they asked him who would win, Terminator or Deadpool. And God bless Tim Miller, there to promote Terminator, goes, yeah, you can't kill Deadpool. He wins that fight. He keeps regenerating until he beats the Terminator. Done! Seriously, I can't, my mind can't wrap around a guy who can't die dying. Like, he's just gonna regrow. Who's next? I'm sorry I didn't have a better answer. Spider-Man, if you got a question, because Deadpool is roughly based on you. You kind of look just like him because, on purpose. I'm like, yeah, that works.
I came out 60 years ago.
You did? Are you 60 years old? Next time we'll sing you happy birthday, but not today. Who's got a question? Anybody got a question? Yes?
What's it like creating your own characters that turn into something so much bigger than you could have ever imagined?
It's good. I may have covered this earlier. I'm going to expand on this. I was a desperate guy. New Mutants was a book that wasn't doing well, and I had to make it sell. And I'll get into this. I had two guys who broke in around the same time as me, Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee, and they had killer gigs. X-Men and Spider-Man, two of Marvel's best-selling books. I felt that they were going to leave me behind if I didn't do something to kind of rig the game. And because I wasn't getting it done, I don't know if you saw New Mutants before I came on it. I'd encourage you to go. It's in 1989. It was a bad time machine of 1982. There's a character named Boom Boom, and she looked like Madonna in her videos. In her holiday video from 1982. Like, she has a big giant bow in her hair, and she has suspenders, and I'm like, and she's in pink and lime green, and I'm like, yeah, I was in high school in the 80s, and nobody dresses like this anymore, and it's 1989, and then there's Richter. He looked like Billy Idol from Rebel Yell, open leather vest, open chest, leather pants, hey, Billy Idol, Rebel, yeah. No, Billy Idol hasn't had a hit in 7 years in 1989. So why do these characters look like characters in 1982? Because the elderly people working on the book had lost their sense of hip, and I was a kid who lived, all I did, if I could like put my mouth around the TV, MTV, I'd absorb it every day. Back when kids, you're like, what is MTV? It was this badass, like, all the great videos, and you just watch them again and again. They were cutting edge. All those guys went on, Dave Fincher, Michael Bay, these guys went on to be great directors of huge, significant works. And so I was in tune with what was going on. And I figured, we got to get these characters kind of hipped up. And also, new characters, Cable, new leader. A guy who comes in and says, Xavier's wrong, Magneto's wrong, I'm right, I'm an action guy, I'm going to kick down some doors, we're gonna take action. Xavier would sit in his wheelchair in the 80s and go, oh, mankind hates us, but we must work with them. And Magneto would be like, I'm going to kill them all. And Cable was supposed to say, no and no. You can't sit here and wonder and ponder and do nothing. You have to do something, but we can't kill them all. So, man of action, Cable explodes, Deadpool explodes, Shatterstar explodes, Domino explodes. Like I said, they all became action figures, toys, cartoons. My favorite thing that people say to me, because I guess I'm supposed to act like I wasn't there, and this isn't defensive, this is truly humorous. And if you read me on Twitter, and if you're reading that I'm angry, that's not how I talk. I'm a sarcastic SOB. I'm just having fun and laughing. And people are, whoa. Social media sucks anyway. I don't know why I hang around, because it's a bunch of crazy people now. It was cooler 5 years ago. But, and then everything got political. Thanks, Trump. So anyway, X-Force, toys. Favorite thing people say to me is, what's it like now that Deadpool's popular? I have the 3 best-selling Deadpool comic books of all time. No one's even come close. My Deadpool sold in the millions. I made him up here. And the toys and the video games and all that stuff was when I was working on him. And so people, let's reframe the question. What's it like that Ryan Reynolds has made Deadpool a global, powerhouse? That is the truth. That's because of Ryan Reynolds. And that's why everybody fought for him to star in that movie for 6 years. Even when Fox was like, no, maybe not, maybe yeah, maybe with him, maybe not with him, maybe no. Because he has taken, being a global phenomenon is something I hadn't experienced until him. Being Deadpool super popular existed, again, 2014, I go to get the new Deadpool game, the new Deadpool video game. It was very, 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 very R-rated. If you heard this one before, I also apologize. It's one of my favorite things. My kids had finished practice. It was Taco Tuesday. We went and got nachos and tacos, and we went at 6 o'clock to get the video game. It was a Tuesday. It came out. I walked up so happy to get my video game because I'm not going to play it. My kid's going to play it, and I'm going to watch him play it. And my wife actually had him turn it off at level 3, so that didn't work so well. But to even get she's like, "What are you doing?" Because Deadpool reaches out for a woman's. Yeah, and it didn't work well. My wife was very mad that my son was being exploited in this manner. He liked it. But the thing is, I walked up to the counter at the GameStop. I said, I would like one Deadpool video game. Those things are like $70, right? I'm a customer. I'm here with my money. I got, Oh, sorry, sir. Are you aware that this video game is very graphic and very... Yeah, got it all. Would like one Deadpool video game, please. Sir, we've had complaints all day about parents. We've actually had a bunch of these returned by very angry mothers. Do I look like an angry mother? Just give me my video game. I want to buy my $70 video game. I'm gonna go get the manager, sir. Just wait. What? Oh, hi, sir. Yes, I just wanted to warn you before you buy this game. I'm like, 12-year-old, 14 and 12, my two boys. The 12-year-old goes, my dad created Deadpool, just sell him the game. And I'm like, yeah! And this happens all the time. Like when I was buying too many action figures. And they said, why, are you gonna put these online? I go, can I just do something for you? Here, look at this name, Google it right now, sell me these comics. Oh, wow. And suddenly I'm taking photos of everyone in GameStop. Hey, yeah, you're selling me the 10 figures. Anyway, so, Deadpool 2014, big video game, big R-rated, juicy, best-selling video game. No movie, just people love him. Like this guy, just like him. Raiders Deadpool. People love you online. Raiders. It's so perfect. Do you go to the games?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Are you the guy they showed on camera?
No, but can you say what? He knows. Yeah, he was trying to say.
I'm with friends one night. Who were the Raiders playing that night? And it pans over, and there's freaking Deadpool and people's heads exploded, mine included. I put it online. Boom, huge. Deadpool at the Raider game, killer. Anyway, this is manic energy, fueled by all the cocaine, like I said. But I'll drop in about 10 minutes. I'm going to pass out. But I've kept remarkable focus during this panel, giving as scatterbrained as I am. So yeah, it feels good. There's the answer. Okay, what else? What else? Yes, ma'am.
How do you define a great character? Like when you're creating.
Okay, first of all, I'm gonna tell you right now. Period. Gotta look good. You want to know why Spider-Man stood his test of time? He's a great-looking character, great-looking visual. Captain America, that costume is a great-looking costume. If you don't have a visual, you don't have anything. You just got words and an idea. You have to have a visual. I remember watching Star Wars again, huge deal when I was 9 years old. And I was telling my buddy today, you had all this kind of Eastern martial arts samurai imagery with Darth Vader and then Obi-Wan, robes and these, the lightsabers were clearly like samurai swords. And then they walk into the cantina and whoa, we're not in a samurai movie anymore. We're in a Western, and here's a cowboy, got a gunslinger, Han Solo. George Lucas is mashing up cowboys and samurais in space. And you're like, whoa, and as a kid, my mind was, I got it, I understood it. It thrilled me. That is why those action figures flew off the shelves. Here's the thing. Sometimes if you go on my Instagram account, occasionally I take a shot of my shelf, which is just ridiculously overpacked now. It's got too much stuff, and I'm literally, I told my wife today, I'm gonna talk to you when I get home about buying a store that's basically a Deadpool museum that'll just be my office, but it'll be in the retail section in Orange, California. And people can come talk to me, and I'll have all my stuff, and that it will be the most magnificent museum because no one has as much stuff as I do. But the action figures are out of control. Just this month, 2 new action figures, 2 new pops. Like plastic. I have my own plastic section of the Plastic Factory, dedicated to Deadpool and Cable and all these characters. And when you put them on your shelf, they say nothing. They just look cool. My good friend Todd McFarlane, who does not get enough credit for, I can't believe this, he changed the toy industry. People don't remember, toys looked like they basically moved like this. Arm, leg, like it was Ken and Barbie, hey. Then Todd figured out, if I'm gonna get in the toy business, I'm gonna set myself apart. And he even said, because I was talking to Hasbro and Mattel about Youngblood toys, and they would talk to me about, articulation is like an extra, 2 cents a figure, and that adds up over every figure. And Todd was like, who cares? Extra 2 cents is worth it, I'll stand out. And Todd's first line had more articulation and more detail, and then every successive line. And that guy invested in the cool toys that we have now are a result of Todd McFarlane's visionary genius of saying, I'm not going to be satisfied with the status quo. I'm going to make better toys. And it cost me an extra 2 cents. And Hasbro and Mattel don't like that because that's going to drive up the margins. And they want those margins low. But Todd was famously said when he was redoing toys, people said, why are people buying so many McFarlane toys? He said, because people like little statues they can put on their desk and look at while they work. And sometimes, when they look at those little statues, it takes their imagination off their work for 5 minutes, and then they get back to their work. And he was spot on. So a great character. Now, after he looks cool, he's got to do something because he can't also babble. He has to have conflict. Again, so my dad, sick, cancer, 20 years. It took him in 1999, but Deadpool going into the Weapon X program to cure his cancer and then coming out transformed. is character building, creates self-hate, creates loathing, creates, I've got to laugh about this. I went into to kill what was inside of me, and it killed what was everything in me. Cable, when I sold him to Marvel, I said he's a man of mystery. Wolverine was built on mystery. One of the greatest characters of my lifetime, anytime. They kept peeling away the layers. Is he 100 years old? Is he 200 years old? Well, of course he wouldn't age if he heals. No one had put that together. Well, he heals. Well, then he wouldn't age. And then one of the creators, one of the guys who made Wolverine super popular, gave an interview where he said, Sabretooth and Wolverine are related. And to me, I was a kid, I dropped that magazine in 1981. What? Sabretooth. So, just great mystery, great characters. And I said, Cable comes from the future. He knows how every one of these characters die. He has come back to steer us in a direction that will save mankind and mutant kind together. And I said, and he's got a family lineage, but we're going to hide it. I didn't reveal that he had telekinesis, and he was Jean and Scott's son until X-Force #1, when if you go there, he's moving things with his mind for the first time. And Domino says, what are you doing? Are you about to give away your secret? And he's like, well, eventually they're gonna have to find out. And so but again, that's a little egg laid. Maybe 5 issues later, we follow up on it. Are Domino and Cable in a relationship together? Oh my gosh, they're in a tub together in X-Force 8. I guess they are in a relationship of some sort. Trust me, the greatest soap opera writer in comics ever was Chris Claremont. I always told him, he taught us all how to do it. He was a magnificent writer of layers and peeling away layers. And when Chris liked something, he'd immediately implement it. When Shogun was on television with Richard Chamberlain in the late 70s, and it was the highest rated miniseries of all time, suddenly Chris Claremont puts Eastern culture onto Wolverine, and Wolverine is now kind of in a samurai Shogun kind of direction. And as a kid, I'm like, that's fresh, that's cool. But I knew where it came from. And I think X-Men 143, Kitty Pryde is crouching. It's the Christmas issue, and there's a giant, what's the alien called? What do they call him?
Brood.
No. This isn't a brood. In X-Men 143. But in the actual movie alien, are they called Cenobites? Xenomorphs. There's a xenomorph above Kitty. You can tell John Byrne and Chris Claremont came out of Alien and were like, yeah, we're doing this monster in the X-Men. And even they even went on to admit it. Yeah, we were totally influenced by Alien. Okay. And then later, Chris is like, I'm not letting that go. I'm doing the Brood. That one beast in 143 is not a Brood, but it looks exactly like a xenomorph. So we reflect each other all the time. And I think movies take from comics take from movies. It's great. So that's a long-winded answer. I'm probably out of time. I have 3 minutes. Do you have one more question for me? Yes, sir.
Okay, real quick. So you talked a little bit about like your inspiration for Deadpool being from like a combination of Wolverine and like Spider-Man.
Yep.
So like, what about some of your other characters like Domino or like Cable?
Domino. Character I had in my, I already addressed Cable. I'll do Domino really quick. Fastest character cell I ever had. In between, I had an office and I would draw the comics, sometimes 15 hours a day in my studio, and I hadn't really gotten into dominoes, playing dominoes. In the in-between times, like the breaks, I'd put my dominoes, I was obsessed with how they would break, break right, break left. It all comes down to chance. I mean, especially when you create 3 paths and you know which one's gonna catch. And so I call up Marvel. This is the best one. This is great, because Ryan Reynolds calls me and says, Rob, during the domino section, we've put a voiceover and we take a shot out of you while she's, doing her luck powers, and she talks about you not drawing. I said, Ryan, I love it. He goes, you don't mind? I go, my kids make fun of me. I don't care if you make fun of me. Like every day I'm getting, I have 3 teenagers. You don't think I'm getting every day? Verbal, just putting me down. You're lame, you're a boomer, whatever. So, Gen X right here. Gen X standing strong, but also boomer. Anyway, when I called Marvel, the great thing why that happened when they're actually showing her luck powers, I called them, I go, hey, I'm introducing this character named Domino too, and they're like, what does she do? I go, she has luck powers. It's like when you play dominoes and you don't know which way it's gonna break. It comes up, it comes down to chance. So when she enters a room, I can't believe I said this. She affects probability. She affects the laws of probability and chance. And I said, and she's black and white like a domino. Because my favorite question, I know I'm done, is someone says to me, why'd you make her black and white? I said, have you seen a domino? Like, have you actually helped? No. Domino's is not a pizza chain. Dominoes is a thing you can buy in a store, children. It's tactile. You don't swipe it. It doesn't, you lay them down and you play with them. So anyway, that's Domino. Guys, thank you for taking your time out with me. And I'm so glad I came to Oakland for the day. Thanks for seeing me. You guys have a great rest of the show. I'm going to be at my table for a few more hours. Come by, say hi. Thank you very much.